My number one piece of advice is take photos.
General advice for everyone thinking to start a keto diet lifestyle.
My number one piece of advice is take photos. Take them in as little clothing as you can bear seeing yourself in if you're not happy with how you look. It doesn't matter if you don't look at them. It doesn't matter if you hate them. Take the photos so that when you are where you want to be, you can go, wow, look at what I've achieved. I have barely any photos of me obese from here down. So I really wish I'd taken photos, but I hated being photographed. And you've got to remember that scales aren't necessarily reliable. They'll show you an up and down, but they don't take into consideration water weight. They don't take into consideration when you last went to the bathroom. Muscle is heavier than fat. They take none of that into consideration. The best way to see your results if you're not physically measuring them is to take photos. That's my biggest piece of advice.
When you want to start anything, try to know the kind of person you are. If you're the kind of person who will quit smoking overnight, go for it. Start keto overnight. If you're not that kind of person, don't push yourself because you will have a yo-yo effect and you don't want to end up in that situation. So learn your personality first. If you're the kind of person who can do things in transition better than just overnight, definitely do it transition. Also, there are so many people who did this before you, from cavemen all the way to Elliot and I. So feel free to, can't contact the cavemen, but feel free to get in touch with people who know how to do it. And you're not going to live long enough to make all the mistakes and learn everything yourself, but get as much as you can from other people's experiences.
And I think on top of that, it is very important that it's not one size fits all, even on keto.
Definitely.
There are so many different variations of keto that people do. Some people even cycle keto because they're like bodybuilders and that's what works best for them. Even sat right here are two completely different variations of keto. I go higher protein, lower fat. You go more sort of a vegan and you are really strict with how many carbs you have. You do vegan?
No, I do high protein. I do high protein as well. So actually,
okay.
Funny enough, my protein would probably be almost, like not almost, but like the fat would be about maybe this much more than the protein, but the carbs would be way down here. So yeah. So for me, protein is much bigger than other keto people.
I can deal with maltitol a little bit. I do use gluten if I make like a specific bread. That's what works for me. It doesn't work for you, but it doesn't mean that either of us are wrong. It just means that we have different bodies.
Or what works for the other person.
Absolutely.
And some people do keto with like 15 or 10 grams of carb a day, while other people, or 5 grams per meal, and other people do it. I know people who do keto and they say they take 70 grams, but when I ask, what were you taking before you went keto? They say, oh, I was having about 140 or 150. I'm like, okay, yeah, fine. They are cutting their carbs. Can't argue with that.
And I think this is so important, is enjoy it. Enjoy the keto lifestyle or diet, because everyone thinks that all we eat is bacon, avocado and butter.
Oh, but I love avocados. I wouldn't mind living on avocados.
But you can make so many delicious cakes. You can make so many delicious cookies. You can take pretty much any dinner that you would want, like a lasagna or a pizza, and there is a keto version for it, or you can make one that tastes just as good. And then, of course, there's companies such as yourselves that do incredible snacks. And I'm not just saying that. My spoon's waiting for me. My spoon with Yummzy's waiting for me.
We had a question, I don't see it in the banner, but we had a question of someone saying, after Elliot's video, are you planning to reduce the price of the M10?
I'm sorry.
It's okay, but it's a good question because I will explain it in the video and hopefully the person is watching this or will watch it. We only use very, very premium products. So the stevia we buy costs a few times what other brands would cost, but that's why we can full-heartedly say, give it to a toddler, no problem. As long as they don't have nut allergy, it's very good. It's no problem. It's stevia. The Yumtilla we make literally has 5 ingredients, I think. I can't remember at the top of my head, but like 5 or 6 ingredients.
Yeah.
And they're all organic. So we're not great with our marketing, but just go on Amazon. What we were discussing earlier, Elliot, like whoever it is, just go on Amazon, look for a spread and see how many ingredients they have in that spread. And also see if the taste is anywhere near the Yumtilla. There are spreads with just 2 ingredients or 3 ingredients, but we've had people who are sugar addicts. We've had people who are not eating much sugar. We've had celebrity chefs trying our Yumtilla and saying this can't effing being a swear word, effing be gluten-free, sugar-free, vegan, and high protein. So, and to be honest, I mean, people think it's expensive, but if actually you see the process of sterilizing the jars, the fact each one of these jars was made with a hand, a human hand, not a factory, not manufactured, and the fact that everything in the process was like human intense, gotta pay people, gotta use great ingredients, can't change any of this, and so no, we're not going to be decreasing the price, but maybe one day if we manufacture it in a larger scale, yeah, that would be a possibility. But I'm not sure it's going to taste as good then. So
on that review I did of Yummzy, that basically what you've just said in real in depth is the pinned comment. So anyone that comes can see that, because unfortunately I had to mention price because it's a big thing, but I get it.
And I'm aware you had a previous version which probably didn't taste as good as the new version.
I mean, the last version was incredible, but this new one.
Well, that's amazing. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I'm going on a Yumtilla diet.
That's why when they said, what's your favorite meal? I said, Yumtilla. I'm not lying.